We're getting brand new Inazuma 11 Victory Road of Heroes news on March 9th. And as we look ahead to that and whatever it may reveal, I want to kind of go over what I really hope this game fixes. And by fix, I mean little gameplay tweaks that will help improve the experience. But I don't just want to make this my top 10. I wanted to turn to the audience, to the Inazuma 11 fans out there, and so I took to Twitter and asked you guys what you want to see fixed. So, this is my number one thing, plus 9 of your things, to create a top 10 things we want to fix in Inazuma 11 Victory Road of Heroes. The first one, and my personal suggestion, is a forfeit matches button. Now, I am desperate for this, because the amount of competition route matches I start, and suddenly start losing, or suddenly, I'm not going to get the S rank or whatever, and I just want to forfeit it and restart it, but I can't, so I need to see out like the 20-minute match. And this can be fine on the DS when you can click speed up if you use an emulator. But on 3DS, it can just get exhausting sitting there waiting for the match to be over when you know you haven't got any chance of accomplishing the objective that you're trying to complete. I mean, bloody hell, if I'm doing an S rank and I concede early on, I just want to start the match all over, and I don't want to go through the hassle of restarting a game or whatever. Just a forfeit matches button, please, it'd be so easy. Number 2, and this is our first one suggested by you guys, incentivize recruiting players outside of the main ones you were given for the main story. I think this might not necessarily be an issue given the structure of Victory Road of Heroes, but in past games I always left the recruiting for the post-game. It'd be cool to see them be full side quests. This I completely agree with. I feel like especially playing Chrono Stones, I had to make a conscious effort to go and recruit players who weren't in my main team. And by the end, you can't even use them because of Chrono Storm. I think I would normally go and recruit maybe 1 or 2 new players per playthrough, and that's just not really good enough. I feel like for a game that's meant to be so customizable and have, such a big roster of characters for you to pick from, why should I only feel like I need to only use the main 11? It's just a bit weak. I think a large part of this in the Go games is just how annoying the scouting system is, plus the fact that all the players you recruit start at level 1, which is so stupid, but we'll kind of get into scouting a bit more later, so I'll save that for then. Next, we've got give us more variety in moves other than low cost, low power, high cost, high power, and low cost, high foul. In games like Pokemon, sometimes weaker moves work well with certain abilities or have good secondary effects, which is lacking in most IE games. I would kill for a move that either a dribble move that gets you a free kick, or a block move that gets you an offside, or, hear me out, what if it was a dribble that then increases the power of your next shot, or it's a shot that if you use that shot 3 times in a row, or something, then you get extra bonuses. Something like that, or if you use a shot when you've got 2 other fire players near you, or it's an earth goalkeeper, there's certain bonuses. Why aren't there more bonuses attached to these players? I personally think every Inazuma 11 player should have an ability. Just make this bloody Pokemon. I think every Inazuma 11 player should have an ability. Because in Inazuma 11, generally what you end up with is a player is just their stats. Because you can give them whatever move you want. They are just their stats. And so I'd love to see players be more. Be their stats, be their element, then be abilities. Then, you can have an ability which is get rid of the secondary moves for more power, and it's like sheer force from Pokemon, or an ability which is static. What if a certain player has a higher chance of drawing a foul? It's not from a skill, it's from an ability. Or what if a certain player uses a block move that makes contact with that player, then the other player has a higher chance of, their speed being lowered for the rest of the match? Maybe the player they're trying to tackle is sticky or something. I don't know, but there needs to be more extra cool stuff for players and for moves like that. The scouting method. I like the one in IE2, the capsule method was okay, they ruined it with having items / players required for characters you really want, some being quite difficult / a lot of effort to get, i.e. Flora with the 100 photos. Completely agreed. One thing I don't agree with is I hate the capsule method in IE3. I think it's really stupid. I don't like how luck-based it is, how hard it is to find certain players. I'm not keen. But I agree the one in IE2 is the peak. but I do think there is room for a happy medium between IE2 and the Go games. I really love the way the Go games uses the power packing to tell really nice stories and give you more information about certain players. I love the way they tie together certain players from different teams. You've got to recruit this player in order to use this player. It kind of gives you a look at dynamics, friendship groups, and maybe like you need to go get a certain photo because that photo is a big part of their backstory. I think there's some really nice potential for stuff there, and they do use it quite nicely in the Go games at certain points. With that being said, Tezcat, you need like 100 kits or something stupid. It sucks. It's terrible. And that is abysmal. And scouting players, especially as we already mentioned during the story, is really hard. So there's got to be a nice balance between organic storytelling created through scouting, which IE2 does a bit, but I think Go does slightly better, and then combine that with actual ease of scouting. I've got to be able to want to get the players whilst also having the cool journey of being like, ooh, this player's cool because of this little side quest. I think side quests are the big thing here. Less pal packing where it feels kind of like just busy work, and especially stupid drops, but more so little like fun side quests. I'd love if to recruit, for instance, I don't know, let's come up with a random example. In order to recruit Aphrodite, you've got to go to maybe that bench that he's in an outer code, talk to him at that bench, you've got a nice little cutscene, then Aphrodite's like, oh, can you go get me this water bottle that, you know, that you can find in this competition route. You go there, you fake that's the competition route, find the water bottle, bring it to Aphrodite, little other cutscene, then Aphrodite joins you. Obviously you can't have that for every single player, but I think it'd be nice to have more of that. More players where, you know, the actual act of recruiting them feels like a little side quest that you want to complete to see cool content, rather than, oh, I guess I gotta go bloody collect every shirt in order to recruit Tezcat, and by the time I recruit Tezcat, I can't use him in any story missions because he's level 1, or I can't use him in any competition route because he's level 1. Also, that's my big thing. Just let us get them at at a certain level. Like, if I recruit a player from the 3rd team I take on in time to be able to want to take on like the 4th or 5th team, I want that player to be the right level, like level 20 or whatever. I don't want them to be level 1, so they're insanely underleveled for the rest of the story campaign. This is the stupidest change. Stupid. We've got some kind of quick fire ones. I know I rambled a lot for the last few. These ones are kind of more quick fire. Just more saves. Yeah, like absolutely. I hate not being able to create another save on the save cartridge. Nowadays it would be kind of useless since you can just play on another profile. But it'd be nice nonetheless. Also, could open the possibility for New Game Plus. Completely agreed. Would love to just see this ability. It's just a quality of life thing, being able to make multiple saves. And yeah, stuff like a New Game Plus would be fantastic. Yeah. I don't see any reason why this shouldn't be here. It's a bloody 2023 Switch game. Come on. Numero 6, more slots to recruit players is honestly all I ask. As well as not making Go 1's mistake of having a limited selection of special moves. They need to go all out for this one. Completely agreed. More slots would be nice. I hate the fact that there's like a Pokedex type thing in terms of you've got to recruit all the players. That's like one of your goals that they don't really go much into in Inazuma 11. But it's kind of there for completion nutters. Bloody hell. But I think it's not incentivized by the actual game itself. 1, because of how annoying pal packing is, and then 2, because you can't physically have every player at once. So you've got to dismiss a ton in order to get more, and then that just eventually becomes annoying. So it's kind of counterintuitive. So yeah, more slots. You don't even need slots. Just have a daycare, have a PC bar. I know there's so many Inazuma 11 players, but I'd rather less players if it means more details put into each of them, but then also more like of a chance to be able to actually get them all and recruit them all, because that'd be cool as hell. Having a fully voiced game would be nice, but that might be a bit much to ask right now, but if they do, it would be cool. It wouldn't be too much to ask right now. They'd be making this game for 20 bazillion years. It's 2023. But yeah, I agree. It would be really nice. A fully voiced game would be fantastic. I think that one of the weirdest things about the first 6 games is, especially as someone who does Let's Plays, doing a Let's Play, looking at the dialogue, whatever, then suddenly you've got Mark going, "Blah!" And it's like, oh my god, calm down, lad. So I'd love just a game that either commits to just no voice or full voice. And I'd love to see Inazuma, because Inazuma voice acting, it's quite fun. I'd quite like that for an entire game, come on. And our final quality of life thing, being able to skip cutscenes in order to make replays way quicker. Anything to make replays more quicker, because Inazuma 11 is such a slow game when you play it again. I'd love the ability to skip cutscenes and just go basically straight to matches. I'd love more quick travel options that don't kind of suck. Just more stuff like that. And again, make scouting easier for the love of Christ. But yeah, no, being able to skip cutscenes, massive shout. Make the game more difficult, especially the story, and more diversity. For me nowadays, IE is just passing technique is kind of boring. Completely agreed. IE can be super duper simplified. I mean, you look at the competitive scene, it's so simple at times. And so I want to see more interesting things. I think this is where what we've already talked about with the extra additional effects works massively. A lot of people say simple is best. This is definitely a situation where I want it to be more complex. I want IE to get more interesting, to add more mechanics to it, not necessarily avatars, mixy maxes, all that stuff. I want kind of more stuff to do with the players themselves rather than just more power. Kind of more situations, I think, is what I'm going for. Status conditions would be huge. Paralysis, burn, don't necessarily need to be the ones from Pokemon, but similar kind of ideas. I do think IE could learn a lot from Pokemon in terms of making a battle system more complicated and thus more interesting. And finally, everyone has elaborate answers, and then there's me. The problem I hope they fix is the lack of mainline games released. Last one was in 2013. Yeah. If there's the biggest thing that comes out of Victory to Heroes, I just want it to be this series continuing. Inazuma 11 has such a special place in my heart, and I imagine it does for everyone watching, that for me, and I'm sure for everyone watching, the biggest win from this would just be more Inazuma 11 games. Victory to Heroes 2, anyone? Hope they announce that. Well, hopefully you enjoyed and made some kind of sense out of my ramblings here. I really want Victory to Heroes to be the best Inazuma 11 game, and these are my pitches, I guess, for level 5 to ignore, but we'll see what happens. I can't wait for March 9th, and I can't wait to see what they announce. And if you want to be the first to know about it, then make sure you subscribe to the channel, because we'll be posting a video essentially ASAP. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.